Evening or good. It's not evening. It's probably yikes. Uh, it's probably still evening on the East Coast right now, and but on the heels of it's on the heels of an evening if you're on the West Coast. So I guess I wanted to drop in and talk about this situation with. I want to talk a little bit about the landscape surrounding the quote, the black community and Mo and Monique and some of these things. And what I want to talk about is how this podcast with Shannon Sharp that's referred to as Club Shay Shay, uncool paranoia, uncool paranoia. Hope you're doing well out there. It's gone. Please tell us all about it. Uh, but yeah, I just want to talk about that. I'm going to go into the whole to the in studio stream still on the institutional kinds of things with, these institutions themselves are screaming, "Oh, this is broken, this is wrong," but this is not that one. I'm going to go. She says, "Club KK." I just want to say that to me, to say that, to suggest that Club Shay Shay is a place, they said that, oh, the Cat Williams interview. I'm paraphrasing. I've seen these in the comment sections. I've seen it from people, just different people on social media. Oh, the Cat Williams interview basically set the place for, set the tone, or set the standard for this place, established, I guess, established this place as a safe place for truth telling. Well, but that depends on, but we're at a time where truth is, there's a spectrum to truth, right? To me, truth is still absolute, but for some, it's a her truth, a his truth, a your truth. It's truth is truth, okay? It can't be, in a spectrum, there's a room for confusion. And then to me, when there's confusion, there's room for chaos. So I think that's a misnomer, that concept, that the concept or the premise that Club Shay Shay is a safe place, was established as a place of of truth, a truth telling safe space, I guess, for the elites or the deletes or whatever you want to call them. But I just want to say that, I find that to be befuddling that that's what people got from Cat Williams's interview. And see, to me, that tells me that, quote, we, or those that consider themselves Black Americans or ascendants of, or Black Americans with African, with African descendants, from African descendants, or I just find that are we still at a point of delusion, or are we still being hoodwinked? I don't agree with that. I don't see that. That's not what I got from it. Okay, I didn't get from the Cat Williams interview that was going to set the tone or set the premise for a safe space, because you don't need, because if it's the truth, if we are such a loving people and such a forgiving people, then we should be safe anywhere the truth is spoken, right? Shouldn't truth be safe anywhere? So I'm just saying it. You can't brand so is that what we're doing now? Safety is a brand. Safety has to be branded. Safety has to be co-signed by these elites, deletes, boulets. If that's your standard of truth, you might need to figure out you might need to find out. We might need to establish what truth is first. Because I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to just say this about Cat Williams, and I'm going to try to move forward. I think Cat Williams, he's spilling the tea and the beans and the salt and the sugar on everybody else. But so he's saying that he didn't compromise, not any Do I believe that this man compromised nothing, or that he did not, for lack of a better phrase, he didn't sell his soul, he didn't do anything, that nothing, that there's no narrative out there in the universe or whole world that's going to come back and say, it's going to say contrary to what he testified was truth, or that, that he abstained, or his testified to his abstinence from participating in some of these, dare I say, rituals or whatever. Is it never going to, I mean, do you think I believe that? Because as they said, is once you put it out there, it's out there. Hey, we can't account for, hey, you sure you never did? Because like I said, it's going to come back, and some people have already said, I can't, in a spectrum of truth space, what I believe, that is no different. I don't believe, maybe people still going to have questions. Like, why now? Why now is it that people are looking for such safe spaces? The truth was never either the truth has never been safe, or we are the truth, or we're dealing with a bunch of narcissists. We're dealing with we're dealing with a bunch of toxic, low vibrational community people, high and low. The high ones get high enough so that they can fall and be a sacrifice. Because believe me, the enemy is not lifting them up to keep them up. He's lifting you up for that value, because the harder they come, the harder they fall. Hello, Mr. Lyons. How are you? Mr. Lyons, how are you? Kid Wonder and Rosie's gaming live stream. How are you? Welcome in. Mr. Lyons, Uncool says, yeah, it's funny to watch the so-called elites build their own truth platform. Isn't that amazing? And I'm going to tell you, and I've said this too, I think this is no different than the information wars, that no more than psychological warfare on the black community. We keep, oh, you're bringing out all these problems, and you're still bringing out problems, baby. You're bringing out problems, but you're calling it truth. I'm saying that we're brave, but see, because to me, as the black community, this is what I can see. What I can see, the history of us as, quote, blacks or African Americans, or whatever you want to call it, or black people with African descent, or whatever you want to do. We have a history of narcissism, personality disorder. It's heavy. I've seen black people love bomb each other in the 70s. My brother, my sister, my brother. I've seen that, the blaxploitation films. I've even heard people talk about that they went to the powers that be during the 70s, the 60s and 70s, and basically said, can you please just make music that's going to be uplifting in the community? There were specific artists that were I've heard a conversation about that there are specific artists that made that type of uplifting, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, all these kind of affirmation deals that came out during that time. Well, and black people love bomb each other. They love bomb the shit out of each other. And then the next thing you know, they're back to devaluing each other. That happens too. That's cyclical. Just as much as you love bomb the shit out of that person, the next time you look around, how long does it last though? Is it authentic? The next time you look around, they're devaluing. Oh, you ain't shit. Your mama ain't shit. Your babies ain't gonna be shit. Da 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 da. You devalue it. As soon as somebody says, "Listen, I don't agree with this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that," they're devaluing you. They're devaluing you. Okay, and after that, they might discard you or do a fake put you on the shelf. We put ourselves on a shelf. We put ourselves on the shelf, or the opposition puts you, the controlled opposition might end up putting you on the shelf. And the next thing you know, but wait, what just happened here? Weren't we a community? 911 emergency, reconnect the community is what they said on A Different World. That's what hey, I remember that episode, 911 emergency, reconnect the community. Now, next thing you know, we're disconnected. Or we go back to love bomb stage. Oh, we got to do our hair a certain way. We gotta wear our hair natural. We gotta do this. We gotta do. Oh, and then the next minute, oh, we gotta go and do what? We gotta go and straighten our hair. And it's toxic. It's constant. It's constant. And who do you blame for it? Is there these industries out here? You're gonna blame the liberals. You're gonna blame the elites, the boulets. What? Still narcissists. It's still narcissistic tendencies. Heavy. And then after a while, they put you on this, the people that give you the people that you are begging, whoever you are begging for the validation, whether you want to say it's the white man, the elites, the boulets, the secret societies you're trying to affiliate with, associate yourself with, before you know it, they have you can be in again. And then the cycle starts. They start to pull you off that discard or off that they unshelf you, and then the cycle starts all again. Then you're back to it again. I mean, just look at it. That's what I see. But why? But my thing is, but we never ask ourselves, why does any race of people need so many affirmations? Why does one race of people need so many affirmations from institutions or other races of people? I used to hear people refer to, oh, you're begging the white man. We need to stop begging the white man to love us. Well, you're begging somebody. If you're not begging them, you're begging somebody else. And then the cycle starts, and I'm telling you, the cycle starts all over again. We do that to ourselves. And other people see that. They see that our unity, our authenticity, it doesn't last. It's very toxic. It's very cyclical. Well, what are the black folks on today? That's what we got to appeal to, because we don't have to do much, because they're going to eventually go back to devaluing and demoralizing and shelving themselves. That's eventually what's going to end up happening. Is it envious? Is it jealousy? Is it coveting? I'm just saying. But then, and I said all this, I went on that spiel to say, I think this is a situation where Monique went on to this Club Shay Shay. And I will say Monique's tone is she's pretty consistent in her tone. She's pretty consistent in her tone. But what I don't think is authentic is all of these stars setting up, getting up here and whining about not being paid or not getting this or not getting that. Most people, not just black people or people of African American descent, they're not getting paid. They didn't get paid one job that maybe paid them $55,000 or 66, what a number, $1,000 for the number of episodes that they did on the Parkers. They didn't on any job. But it's like, okay, but it's like we just kind of keep coming back to this. I don't want to say it's a woe is me, but if it's a struggle is struggle to me. Struggle is struggle. And it's almost like we can't even really accept that our struggles are going to, if your industry is legit, then why, if it's worth dealing with, then why don't you just accept the struggle as just a struggle? Instead it gets to be, it's a Mo versus Oprah. It's a Mo versus Lee Daniels. I've heard the audio. Shout out to the Lockhart Perspective for posting it. And I think she posed a good question. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. It's kind of like, well, what does this actually reveal? I mean, what is it, if it changes nothing, then what are we talking about here? Because if no one's going to stand, if nobody thinks that, if you're going on Club Shay Shay, is that going to legitimize her claims against Lee Daniels or Oprah? Is it going to bring her closer to getting that paycheck? You see, a lot of it's the war within. It's not, there's so many cyclical and toxic and demoralizing roles within the community itself. Nobody outside really has to do anything. They could just sit back and watch you. They could just sit back and watch you destroy yourselves, and watch us normalize trauma, and watch us normalize that this spectrum of truth, and realize that it leads to nowhere. It leads to nowhere. So I'm saying that I heard the clip that was the audio that was played, and these people they're gonna even Mr. Shay Shay himself, even Maestro Shay Shay, he's still watching his butt. He watches his butt when those people come on. To me, it's no different than, what is it, drink champs? I called it drink chumps. Like, you're still dealing with control opposition. Your host is controlled opposition. So how in the hell could the truth be any closer to the fountain of truth if your host is controlled opposition? He can't even say, as I noticed it, she said, oh, look at the camera and say it. Look at this camera and pose these questions. Look at this, look at that, do this, do that. He is not. I even heard somebody say in the comment section, oh, he's going to go on there eventually. Tyler Perry's going to call Shay Shay and tell him to pull down that interview. I'm just thinking they're not going to pull that down. They're not, they know what they're doing. To me, it's also another form of distraction. I mean, to me, Club Shay Shay looks more like a club to me, it just looks like a gossip club, and they're calling that truth. And everybody comes on there like, your truth is, as soon as we put your truth up against somebody else's, it's already as soon as you put it out here, it's already being undermined in real time, because now they've got people buying in. I'm seeing people that probably don't even really know any of Monique's work, whether it's her humble beginnings, the Parkers, Queens of Comedy, BET specials. These people don't really even know much about her body of work. They don't know much about her. But they know what gets hits. They know what gets hits on YouTube. So I kind of think I'm just kind of pivoting around the point, like, well, in order to, you have to have, there has to be something that's more absolute than the spectrum of truth. Her truth, his truth, your truth, the dog's truth, the cat's truth. Yeah, I'm just saying, you just can't, it's hard to establish any place. And like I said, why would the truth not be safe? If this particular community that's creating all these shows and doing all the love bombing over the years, love bombing show, love bombing hairdos, self-affirmation groups of people, why is it that we could be demoralized? Why is truth such an enemy to that group of people? Or why does one group of people need so much affirmations? Why? It says some way it gets to be low vibrational. I'm just beginning to think we're unfortunately, we've got this low vibrational critical mass that we're dealing with, and it's never going to end. It's never going to end, because somebody's going to a low place, and somebody needs to make something. In order to make truth was never safe. I cringe to think it was never safe. I need to go on Club Shay Shay. And he is the arbiter of truth. In their world, they don't operate in the same world as we. So for people to say that, I just think that their perspective is a little bit, it's a little bit tunnel vision, to think that a celebrity at any point in their career is going to go on that show and truth is just going to be, because you're still, at the end of the day, they're still skewed, they're still biased, you're going to still choose your favorite big girl, you're going to still choose your favorite comedian, you're already biased. So it could never be a safe place for truth, because the house that houses it itself is not even built on, it's more controlled opposition. It's not built on, there's not a truthometer, a real truthometer. So I'm just kind of responding to some of the comments that I've seen, and to me that's what's wrong with quote the community and cultural things. You know, it's got to be because it's, and I'm going to tell you this: the standard of truth to me these days is now built on feelings. So to me, it can never be her truth, his truth. It's built on feelings. A lot of people, you hear them getting on even a Judge Judy or a judge show saying, "Oh, well, I feel that she did this, and because you feel it, you're going to defend your feelings, whether it was the truth. It didn't have anything to do with the truth, whether you're right or wrong. It's because you felt it strongly, and your feelings don't always warrant the truth. I'm just saying, it just seems like we just have to have, I guess, logical reasoning, critical thinking. Critical thinking starts, and for those of you that have children, I would strongly suggest that you start flexing, start getting those critical thinking chops up early with your kids, because I find that there are certain groups that low vibrational people they are an absolute, they don't have a compass. They don't really have even foundational critical reasoning skills. They don't. They can't, it's very like, I don't want to go into teach mode, but the Bloom's taxonomy. Some people, not only are they low vibrational, but their understanding, their memory is that's a very low ranking at a low level of thinking. So when you try to get them to see things, when you try to get them to see the facets of things, or the perspective of things, or when you try to get them to see in more like 3 dimensions or more than 1 dimension, they just get more emotional, because they don't have the perspective. They just don't have it. They can't think beyond, they don't have a large enough perspective to process it, to deal with it, to manage more than one perspective, with more perspective being out there, whether it's known or unknown. They just don't have it. As much as known or with little known, they just don't have it. They only think about what they see. That's it. And so I just don't really know if to me, it wasn't an earth-shattering interview that she did on that show. To me, because she's saying the same thing. The woman said the same damn things on frickin', what's the frickin' Charlemagne, The Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club is even a bigger dumpster fire of truth, because she went on that show and gave a lot of people want to tell her, see, it's a lot based on feelings. Oh, well, a lot of people, like I say, feel what you feel, but you need to make sure you get back to the facts before you finish. But a lot of that is oh, she should just get over it. Oh, just let it go. Oh, it's not your turn. Oh, you're not making enough money. Oh, to me, I'm probably not going to be tuning in. What I need to do is find out what shows, who he's interviewing, and decide if I even want to. Because a lot of these people you don't have to wonder what Monique said, because Monique has already said it. Okay? Same thing with some of these people that we hold up. The Gandhis and the MLKs. You don't have to wonder what they said or what allegedly they said. Just look at the writings that were released in the name of that person. The Sojourner, it's the same thing. I'm trying to draw this down to this thing about truth and the standard of truth. We're not in control. We're not even in control of it anymore. Because unfortunately, even when it comes to history, it's the winner that actually writes the truth. Like Sojourner Truth, her "Ain't I a Woman" speech. They can't even decide, the liberals that propped her up to do the speech. She's basically she's undermined by that same damn speech that she gave. because the people that allegedly recorded it on the first that had a first that claimed a first-hand account or a first-hand account of it is being contrasted with the person who came back, an abolitionist, a feminist, or person that came behind that person. So really, what is just you're starting to get to what is truth anyway? What is that? It's more like an aspiration, it seems, these days. It's not going to be established on a Club Shay Shay. It's not going to be established on a Breakfast Club. And even these politicians will tell you, oh, well, this is an aspiration. I'm beginning to think that the Constitution was an aspiration too. You see how that's working out. It depends on who's housing it. Okay, it just it's getting to be subjective, a subjective aspiration. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I just wanted to, but I'm just saying it gets to be, it's somewhere between a gossip column and an aspiration that I guess this is why, this is how Club Shay Shay is going to keep his ratings, because he's going to continue to bring on. I mean, I honestly, can you guess the next guest on Club Shay Shay? Who's it going to be this time? Is he going to bring Kanye on, who's already been on Drink Champs? Or, yeah. Club Shay Shay was already previewed. There was a preview for Club Shay Shay on Drink Champs, or I said AKA Drink Chumps. He's already been previewed. The Breakfast Club has already previewed. It's already been done before. So is it a matter of who you're going to accept the aspiration of truth from that validates the truth? I mean, truth's getting kind of scary. You got cameras these days. What is truth? And I just figure, I Oprah is a scary figure for me. And, the other thing is what's kind of disturbing to me. Why do we keep talking about Monique's weight? If she's okay with it, why? I mean, to me, more people are more uncomfortable. It seems like other people are more uncomfortable with her weight than she is. That's what I noticed. That, he would say something, and then, or either she would ask him, she would kind of cross-examine him, like, why'd you say that like that? Or basically, like, I know all the fat jokes 6 ways from Sunday, so I know all the innuendo 6 ways from Sunday about the fat girl jokes. So not you too. It's just I don't have a problem with Monique's weight. Monique and her weight and her body image, that's Monique. That's Monique. But to say that, oh, well, they needed 2 big girls, for the role of what up, da 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 da. So it was between you and Oprah. Or Oprah had the money, so I gave it to her. And it's just, these are not the common man. These are not the problems of the common man, I guess is what I'm on about. They're not. But it is a distraction of the common man. And it is, he's got a brand on a truth aspiration show, branded Club Shay Shay. That's what it is. So like I said, I don't know. What say you? Who's going to be the next guest? The next guest on, will it be somebody that's already been on the Breakfast Club, or would it be somebody that's already been on Drink Champs? It's just, it gets to be the iterations of truth shows. And I just figure that the black community, or the black/African-American community, we have bigger fish to fry. And I'm talking about, I'm just saying, this is where we put all of our putting energy into. Even still people looking at it from a limited kind of scope. But I don't know. I don't know who's going to be on next. Do I think Oprah Winfrey's going to come on that show? I don't think so. Do I think Lee Daniels is going to come on that show? Probably not. I said just probably go down the freaking list of Breakfast Club. Maybe Raven Simone will come on. Somebody will start talking about the Mr. Cosby. Just think about it. It's getting to be predictable. I think it's going to get to be predictable, and it's already predictable because it's already been done before. I just think that it's a trend. Trending. Club Shay Shay is trending now, so that's how he's going to set these up. Yeah, but I just figured we got 99 problems and a safe space for truth aspirations is just not one of them. It's not. Yeah, because there's been people that talked for years about. Now, here's my other question. Now, is Club Shay Shay limited to? Is it limited to the quote black celebrities, or is he opening it up to to others that are they're slightly less melanated? And I will tell you, he's probably going to need to. Because I'm going to tell you, you're going to run out of material. Because this stuff is, people are going to watch your show based on, they're going to start looking, if they are critical thinkers, they're probably going to start watching your show based on what they've heard. Like, what else can they say? Honestly, for Monique, she has given a lot of interviews. How much more can she say about those transactions, those incidents, the dividing incidents, the dividing interactions? How much more can she say? Is it going to cause you not respect Oprah less, respect Lee Daniels less, respect Tyler Perry less? Are you going to do? Are these people going to stop watching these people's movies? You know what I mean? I don't know, but I'm just saying that I'm wondering if he's going to open it up to. I don't know. Is he going to open it up? The minute he opens it up to an unsung hero, then it might flop. But some of these people are still pretty high profile. Like, will he bring on Kanye? Will he bring on? Yeah, who's he going to bring on? Or is he going to kind of like alternate? High profile, less profile, high profile, less profile. Is that what he's going to do? And these people are all somehow connected to each other. So I think stories will repeat. Stories will eventually, they'll repeat themselves. So I don't want to take a whole lot of time up on that. Let's see. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Because to me, it's like 1.5 hours in, or 2 hours in, it's like, gosh, I feel like I've heard this before, or, gosh, I feel like it's going to just turn into gossip because there's so many people are going to be biased, and they're going to say, well, they're going to choose who they believe based on who they have a greater affinity for. I don't know. To me, I have no idea. So I just want to say thank you to Uncool Paranoia for coming in, giving me the coin club, yay, yay. Mr. Lines, Kid Wonder and Rosie's Gaming and live stream. Hope you're doing well out there. And Ronan came in. But yeah, I'm just surprised but see, what I'm seeing is trending is that people that are the lesser knowns want a piece of this Club Shay Shay. The lesser knowns want a piece of the Breakfast Club. The lesser knowns want a piece of the junk. I almost said the junk chumps, the drink champs. They want a piece. They want a piece of this the clickbait. If it doesn't materialize into anything more than clickbait, they want a piece of it too, because they really could care less about. I think a lot of people want to see Miss the Holy Oath. I think that a lot of people want to see her burn. Now that is another that's another inclination that I have, is that a lot of people want to see Oprah burned somehow. But do I think she's going to? No, I don't think so. Not so fast. It's, she's a tool. She's being utilized in multiple facets. So I don't think it's going to come down to, I don't think she'll ever be one that comes all the way off. Because if she came all the way off, who would they elevate? That's what I'm starting to see. Who would be elevated if she comes all the way off? Now, I tell you what, I noticed the other day, here's nothing. Here, let me just drop this in here. Club Shay Shay brought up, Shannon Sharp brought up Trump the other day. And I'm just thinking, oh, we got to get some digs in. We got to use that one, right? We got to have that all occasion punching bag. And see, that's how I know you're dealing with, that's how you know. That's how you know. This is not all about, this is not a one, that the objective here is not pure. It is not. The idea of a safe space for truth is not pure. They are, to me, they're presenting, problems after problems after problems with people with problems with people. And it becomes psychological warfare. That we're kind of allowing it to be acted out on us. And I see a lot of celebrities are coming over. They're basically squashing the small YouTubers. And the small YouTubers are getting the crumbs now. I think that's another part of the agenda with these celebrities coming over. These big time former NFL Hall of Fame type mega whatever deletes and boulets coming over to YouTube is because they know that's where it is. They know where it's at. And the YouTuber, the common man YouTuber, is going to get the crumbs. So the common man YouTubers are trying to eat. They're trying to eat off of the Shay Shays and the Breakfast Clubs and the Drink Champs, and you're going to see a lot more of that. I think I've talked about that before on this show, about how YouTube is not the same. But could it be by design that by the time they got ready for post 2020, they were starting to move in to squash the common man? They're going to bring the common man in. They're going to let the common man eat a little bit off of them. And they're also going to let them view the content, let them eat off of it, but it's also going to be crumbs. You're still not going to, it's not going to be the merit here to me is skewed. Like, you're not going to be, the common man's truth is not going to move the common man to the higher points, to the high pyramid on YouTube. But these celebs, these mega elite boulets, whatever, are going to come over, and they're going to be at the highest point by bringing over the common man, and the common man eating some of their crumbs. Like, you kind of got like a 2-for-1 special. Like, you got the bread and circuses, but you're also, the bread and circus feeds the common man, but it entertains him it feeds him and it entertains him at the same time. That's when I'm starting to look at YouTube. Like, small YouTubers, they don't want to hear your truth. They don't, because it convicts them. The small YouTuber will convict the elites and the boulets, but they'll also they might get a few crumbs by dropping hashtags for the elites and the boulets. So that's what I'm seeing. People with under 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100,000 subscribers are going in and giving their commentary off of the Club Shay Shay or the Drink Champs. And I think we can expect more of that. I wouldn't be surprised if Mariah Carey doesn't have a show coming up. If she doesn't have a show, she doesn't have one already. I just wouldn't be surprised, because that is what we're in. That is that's the pyramid being inverted. It might have started out as an upside down pyramid, but now it's been completely flipped to put the elites and the boule on top, and then wherever the common man finds himself in the middle, but he will never be able to ascend to that. Because it's one thing, like, because it matters on YouTube. The number one YouTube show is in the top of that. The number one YouTube content creators are at the top of that pyramid. And it just keeps dropping from there to the other people are just not, you're just dog pile. You're just dog pile material. Or some of us are compost. Some of us are compost at this point. We were able to mix with a mid-grader. We were able to mix a mid-grade YouTuber and a lower level YouTuber content page. But we're still on the compost. We're still at the compost stage of low ranking YouTubers. So I just think that these interviews are going to put the elite, seal the elite inside of the YouTube pyramids and partnerships. And it's going to be a bread and circus situation for the common man / content creator as well. Two things in once, twofold. So we'll see. But just let me know, who do you think that did I say Drink Champs, that Club Shay Shay is going to host next? Let me know who you think Club Shay Shay is going to host next. To be honest, I'm actually surprised that Club Shay Shay is not getting out there on the turf, like, dare I say, for lack of a better phrase, no pun intended, that he's not getting out there and he's going to have to bring another element to his show. Because just sitting down and hearing people regurgitate interviews that they've already had with The Breakfast Club, Drink Champs, other, radio host, Steve Harvey's. Will Steve Harvey come on there? I don't know. It's just saying. Oh, 22 Ronin says, I think he will. So how much truth can you guys handle? Is it truth? Is that what you're really getting? Or are you getting gossip? Or you just get, you know what I mean? Like, well, his take on this is da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. I just, yeah. 22 Ronin says, I love Monique. Like I said, I think Monique is more consistent than most of these people. I think whether she's consistent in telling the truth, whether she's consistent in being biased. I think she's speaking from a place of pain. And I hate to tell her, if she's looking to get something from the Holy O, she probably needs to give it up, baby. Give it up. Just give it up. We're as a community, we are on a toxic, low vibrational, we're vibing low, and we're on, for the most part, we are on a toxic ride. I think Oprah groomed her audience way back on her talk show days. And I think a lot of people are seeing that they had no idea what they were dealing with. Okay, so 22 Ronin says, I love Monique, but she was ignored and was right. Well, yeah, I mean, she and her husband have their own talk show. And I think there again, that's what I'm talking about, the amount of redundancy between what she and her husband have said on their own show. So are you really getting more new information? No, this is not new information. Cat Williams to me, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I mean, it's the industry that they bought into. There's a price for fame. I think we all know that. But to me, it kind of gets to be a little bit like, I got to go through this again. Oh, you're upset because there are white people in the industry. You got to sit down before them. Eventually they're going to come up, or eventually this one will say this to this one, and then I won't get to do this role and that thing and that thing. I mean, they don't have, I don't know. Do you have a lawyer? Does that even matter? Ronan says it's all old but relevant to the truth seekers. Well, maybe it is. But if you're seeking the truth and you've got so many people connected together, you're still going to have to pick a side. You're still going to have to pick a side. Who is the arbiter of truth? I mean, who's the arbiter of truth? Is what I'm saying. Who are you accepting the truth from? Most people don't accept truth from sources that have been around longer than Club Shay Shay. So I'd be damned if I'm going there for truth. You better, if you're really seeking the truth, you might better get on your knees, because you're not gonna get it from man. And I'm sorry, but Club Shay, Shannon Sharpe he's just a man. He's just a man. Mo's just a woman. These people are not without flaws. They're not. If we could all handle the truth, we might never be unknowing. We might always, it may never be a status of unbeknownst to someone. If it was meant for us to see the future, then would we ever question, would there be a such thing as truth, is what I'm kind of, and maybe I'm spinning out a little bit. If we could see the future, there wouldn't be any reason, nobody would have a narrative, right? Because you already know what's going to happen. But would you share that? See what I mean? It gets to be, I don't know. I don't really care for these celebrities. I really don't. I think many of them have used their talents, and some of them use it for good. Some of them have used it for manipulation. They've used it for whatever, they used it. They had to do it under the auspices of their opposition, of the controlled opposition. Like Stephen A. Smith. I guess he might be one of the Stephen A. Smith or Kwame Brown. Are they going to go on there and blast some of these people blast some of the circle? It just gets, it's just a rabbit hole. See, 22 Ronan says, I'd like to see Kevin Hart. I honestly, it's like, to me, and see, this is what the danger in this content to me is. But most people, if you're not really, depend on how you perceive things, they won't see it. They're going to see every little thing on there that comes on there as truth. And that is dangerous. It doesn't matter who it comes from. And then, because you do know that D.L. Hughley has already gone on and blasted Monique, saying that she's a liar. I didn't witness my daughter's abuse, or I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. For every person that goes and sits down, they're getting punched the very next day. They're getting, there will be a rebuttal the very next day. So then okay, so I don't know. Oh, but my name was on top of that. I was opening for that show. That person was last on the list. I mean, really? I was opening for him. He wasn't even allowed in the building until 9:30. 22 Runner says she's great for women comics. She is using her Grammy right. Well, some people agree with you, some people won't. I don't know. I don't know. We've been subjected to a lot of stuff. And to me, you can't, that's what I'm saying about all this community and cultural stuff that people want to latch onto you. It's like, it's only going to be, If you're not bringing the fruits, you just not that. Whatever you say that is, if you're not bringing the fruits, you're not that. You're just not. It don't matter what your background is. If we're a culture of people that love bomb the shit out of each other, only to turn around and stab each other in the back and attack and then we get to understand that we are still capable of lies, betrayal, lies, secrets, and all this kind of stuff. And then next thing you know, we'll be shelved for that, and then we'll turn around and re-idolize these people and put them right back and start love bombing them again. That's what I think that happens, unfortunately. That's what I think that happens. These people will go off the scene, like your favorite celebs will get shelved. They'll get, discarded, like a fake discard, like the typical narcissist pattern. They'll get put on a shelf, and then you'll bring them, and then somebody brings them for an interview. And then that you start people love bombing Monique, or love bombing Cat Williams, or love bombing Cedric the Entertainer, or love bombing DL Hughley. And then next thing you know, that person is getting devalued again. But that's what happens in our community as a whole, whether you're outside of the elites, the boulets, the D-elites, the elites, the D-elites, the boulets, whatever. That happens in the everyday community too. That you never know what people are love bombing you for. But if they have that disorder and that low vibrational issue, they're coming for you. As soon as you do something, as you prove to be a human being, you're about to get devalued. You might be lied on, betrayed, who knows? You're about to get it. And before you know it, you'll be discarded or shelved until they find somebody, they put somebody else in your place. The supply is real. The supply and the demand is real for low vibrational and toxic people in the black/African American community. It is. And it's no different to me that's another level of it. That's the highest level of it. That's the highest level of, what we can see for them. But it's highly concentrated that there is personality disorders all over the place. And people accept and normalize trauma. Inside, when you're being love bombed, you accept that love bomb, and it feels like amazing. Oh, this is what blackness and culture should be. The next thing you know, that devalue stage is going to feel just as real. It's going to feel like, whoa, what just happened here? What just happened here? I thought they liked me. I thought I was okay. You'll be betrayed and all that, lies. Until and then while they're doing that to you, they're already recruiting the next supply. So just like Club Shay Shay, he already knows his show. He's already got the supply. He knows Shay Shay, Shannon Sharpe, already knows who his next guest is. Drink Champs, they already know who their next guest is because this is scripted. It is scripted truth. Scripted aspirations of truth. Courtesy of a former NFL player / Hall of Famer. And, they all give themselves they one up each other. To me, it's kind of like the Grammys or the Oscars in many ways. Look how great we are. We're so great. Let's love bomb each other right before we get to the demoralization of what this one said, and this one lied, this one betrayed me, da-da-da. And then they gave this person this job, which they weren't really worthy of that job. But that person's not funny based on what the stats say. That person did worse than even a Tubi special. I'm just saying, do you guys see the loop here? If I'm being obtuse, if I'm not or if it's not, I'm just saying, if you work with me, I was trying to go somewhere with this. Let's see. 22 Ronin says, yes, it's a monopoly. And he also says Oprah probably. Because that same little toxicity was happening with what they were putting that out there about Taraji P. Henson. So maybe she'll be the next person on there. I don't know. I'm saying, but see, they put her in there. They put her in there. So we'll see what happens next. You probably just let me know if for those of you that are listening in the comment section, you probably think, Autumn, why are you spending your time on this? Because I just find it just seems at times that, quote, the black community or our culture or African American people that consider themselves African Americans, it just seems like we're still tunnel vision in. We're not wise in ways, the wisdom. We can't see that not one person can hold there's not one place that can hold. You got to put somebody on a pretty damn high pedestal to say that this is a freaking safe place for truth. You got to try to make somebody, from what I understand, there's only one that's the truth, the way, and the light, and it ain't no Shannon Sharpe. So please don't tell me that are you really going there for truth? Don't do it. We have liberty, is what we have. God gave us free will, but we also have. But then also, I agree. Shout out to Roy Potter, who was saying the other night that liberty is actually freedom with responsibility. But to me, people don't want responsibility. So when you say you're going to a show because it's a safe place for truth, well, the people, with responsibility comes accountability. And when people are not taking, because it seems like to me, from what Mo was saying, and I could hear in the interview, he was only willing to say so much about, what I thought essentially that Monique was, declaring, that she had been blackballed, that something was said about her that probably cost her millions of dollars. But the question was back to the husband, Sidney, came back and said, why won't you say it? Why can't you say? And he was like, oh, well, that would be giving my feelings, or that would be, giving my beliefs, or sharing my experience, or I'm just like, just a whole bunch of word salads. Just a whole bunch of word salads. So, and then you notice that these elites, they get on there and make all these weird statements about, oh, if there's a God, oh, he would be, please stop. Or whatever God is, I don't play about that God. I'm telling you, some of this stuff is really disturbing. It's really, and most people will just let that wash right over them. No matter how many 6-day a weeks that they went to church, or how many Bible verses they can quote, they still let that roll right off. They ain't even hear that. Oh, whatever God is, I don't play about my God. And it's like, you guys are showing yourselves. And it ain't truth. It ain't nothing to do with truth, believe me. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, Shannon Sharpe's not going to give it to you. He's not going to give it to you. Because if the truth is not, first you got to have some truth within you, right? It gets to be real. It gets to be real. A real bag. A real bag. Mixed bag. Or more like the gag bag. Okay? All right, guys. So in all jokes aside, I'm going to wrap this up. Once again, I want to thank, from the top, Uncool Paranoia. It's gone. Thank you for the popcorn. Club Gay. I want to thank Mr. Lines for coming in. Kid Wonder and Rosie's Gaming and Live Stream. 22 Ronin. And so my last point I will say is I want to close is just look at the way that YouTube is going. If you go back to 2020, what was that? Is there a Russell Brand that has a show? You can just see how the celebs and elites have been migrating over to YouTube. They've been migrating over to YouTube. The Shannon Sharps, Tracy Edmonds has a show on there now. Like, these people could have a show on any network, any ABC networks. My gosh, what's Tracy Edmonds, a Grammy, NAACP award winner? Like, you could have a show anywhere. But you're coming over here where the common man is. And the common man might try to get a couple of bites off of you, but the common man's not going to make any money. Not anymore. Not since 2020, at least 2020. 19, or actually, I'd probably go back into 18. From about 18 to now, at least in my experience, you're not going to be, truth is not a commodity that the common man's going to be able to offer on YouTube. It's not. The truth will be once again controlled by the elites, the boulets. That's what your truth serum, truth juice looks like. Their version of that. But your life experience, they don't want to hear that. You know, they don't think, you know, that they've already down. I mean, a lot of people are getting very few viewers. We're not getting notifications. You know, we've talked about censorship, but I think they had to censor it they had to do what they're doing in order to bring those celebs over. Because I think they can't have the common man truth doing the same kind of numbers as an elite or a boule truth. They can't. Those two things can't happen at the same time. So I think YouTubers will continue to get crushed, unfortunately. I mean, I might sound like a negative Nancy, a Debbie Downer, but I thought about starting to make videos again. But I know there's not a snowball's chance in hell I'm going to put 30, 45, 1.5 hours into a video that's going to get maybe 3 views. I'm not going to premiere a video that's going to get 3 views versus a Shannon Sharps while he's feeling he's with his truth aspiring show, while he's getting 13, 14, 72,000, a million views, 72,000 likes. You notice that they took away the number of dislikes. So you only get to see the glass half full on YouTube now. You only get to see the glass half full. When in reality it's probably half empty. Okay, so enough of that. I'm sorry to rant a little bit. But I'm just saying this is all a part of I feel like there's a psychological warfare in the black community, and it's caused by a lot of PD and narcissism. And this particular show is another example of that. All right, guys. So you guys have a great start to your Sunday. It is. All right, guys. And I will see you later. Take care.